Friday. So this is going to be a quicker version of the last one since this one didn't officially go. So we're going to give you a few things to kind of look at in terms of where we're going through it this week. We started off Monday with a pause front squat. Actively, what I want to see here is chest up, a pulse 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. That's going to be the outcome what they're doing here. Biggest thing about those pulses is carry over to clean, but also keeping that chest up. So that's something I want everybody thinking about in terms of how do we keep that. Now, for those who are working on strength, you can keep the same weight across all sets. Those who are working on absolute strength, which is the top end, build to something that's heavy for those. So that's going to be the idea here. The installation 04 and installation 05 are nice sprints. The idea of 1-to-1 is that you have someone keeping you in a position that's going to actively push you. So that's going to be something that we actively need to make sure that we have someone that we are doing this with that is going to be a similar capacity. And as you see there, there's no pacing, there's no strategy. This is go out, go hard, and learn to actually feel that true intensity, because we need this in terms of the ability to produce high calories, but also get it done very quickly. Your 2 minutes rest is allowing you to recover so that you have 4 burpees of the rower. Now, if there's not enough rowers and your times are slightly off, which they will be on the burpee side of things, the easiest way to do is take a bunch of plates, build the plates up to the same size of their rower, and you're going to be in a better place. So that's something I want us kind of doing on that. There's not much to that on Monday. It's going to be something that we're actively doing. Now, Tuesdays, you can see here, we have full video of what to do, a bit more in depth. Each thing has been linked, so this means that you can watch things before you get into class, say today, tomorrow. So that's going to be something you can actively look at. It is an introduction. Everyone's going to be like, oh, we're not doing a lot. Yes, that's the key here. I want you to focus on more quality over quantity and actively learning what it feels like to do some of the things instead of just being rushed to do them. Now, when we take a look at the harvest, we have every minute till failure, so this is going to be kept at 15. It is physically impossible to do 15 in that time if you pick the rate correctly. It takes roughly about 2-ish to 3 seconds per rep for the majority of people to do a power snatch. That's excluding the time it is to trace it down. Hence why we have a target round of 7+ rounds and a minimum scaling. The box jumps are high for a very good reason. And what that means is that we're working on the explosivity here, which is, can I produce a lot of explosiveness while also doing the same thing in a snatch? So you can see that there's a complementary structure, both taxing the posterior chain, and then you have a power snatch, which is working on obviously the higher aspect on it. No touch and go reps. That is there to force you into position of being quicker, smoother, and stronger with your explosiveness. Now, one thing I do not want to see today is step ups. And the only reason I want to say that steps are there for injury is because the idea here is to actually work explosivity. When you change that to a step up, you're no longer working the same explosivity. So that means now using plates, reduce the plates down to a height that you can jump and still get the jump in. That's something that I would actively look at in terms of, if you know that the height is going to be really low, add a bit more weight to the bar and kind of work through that side of things. On Wednesday, we're going to be working obviously through the side of Jerome. I know I spoke about this in the scaling video, so there's not much I need to kind of effectively say here about Jerome today, which is the 20 minutes, 10 chest bars, 20 wall balls, 20 V-ups, and rest. The idea here is to be consistent, and I think that's the biggest thing I want from everybody. It's consistency. Pick a number that you know you're going to be able to consistently get through every single round. I don't want to see someone doing 10 chest bars. It takes them a full minute on the first time, and they come back on the second round, they can't do it. And that applies to whether you're scaling the chest bar or not, or you going through less volume, whatever you're doing in that from a volume perspective, a skill perspective, or a change in the exercise, should be in a position where you're actively able to do it in a repeatable time every single time. So pick a strategy beforehand and stick to that and work through that, because this is how we get better. It's not about just going, look, I got 10 in a minute, and I have to do 9, and then I have to do 6, and then do 2. You're not going to get better in that position. It is, I need a number that I know can successfully get this every round. So that means that if you take 2 reps off, 3, 4 reps off, and you know you're consistently going to be able to hit, say, something like 6 each round, whether that be a jumping chest bar, pull up, whether that be a normal kip, it is something that's repeatable under fatigue is what we want to work on. Ideally, your wall ball should be unbroken. That's actually pretty much the easiest part of this whole workout. And then try and do the similar aspects on your V-ups. The skill today is just working on how we clamp pull to stand and descending. And the idea here is working to kind of get a little bit better and more time spent trying to clamp and how we clamp. There are multiple different ways to clamp: J hooks, half J hooks, forward pinch. You have like the Spanish wraps. There are so many different ways of doing these things. I would like people to actually spend some time trying to do it. You have an option to scale up, legless rope climbs, which is always the big ropes. If you want to do one of the small ropes, no problem, get to the top. You could do legless coming down, you could do legless going up. There's a lot of room to play here and use that as the ability to go, right, what's the skill I need to work on, and can we work through that position and be in a better place? And I think that's something that I want to see from everybody, in a sense of like, right, how do I play with this based on the constructs I have or the limitations to be a person on that one. Your Thursdays is literally going to be every 7 minutes for 6 minutes. Once again, another cracker of a Thursday one. Big thing I want everybody taking away from this is that you need to complete it under 5 minutes. You're always going to have rest built in, which is nice. The idea here is that it shouldn't take you 2 minutes, but it should definitely take you about 3 to 5 to get this going. So scale distance, scale skis, or scale runs. The same thing happens on that. It'll be fine. It's repeatable, sustainable intensity. It is not kill yourself. It is I need similar outcomes each time. So that means that if it took you 4 minutes on set 1, I don't want to see 5 on set 6. I want to see 4:10, 4:15. I want replicable sets because it's the middle range here. It's not about true intensity. Friday, you have your strict press. So this is going to be EMOM 8. The idea thing here is no bouncing, keep it at a lightweight. Some people might need to be a little bit lower. It is an EMOM, means I want all 8 to be unbroken. We're working on can you sustain and clear lactate in that minute. Some might need to go a little bit lower, depending on like for myself, coming back from shoulder injuries or coming back from aspect of not having very good clearance in the shoulders. So this is going to be, your first set's going to be obviously the biggest predicator on everything else. If your first set feels a bit dodgy, the weight is not going to be there for 8. So remember, unbroken. The exuberant witness, this is going to be a big tester for a lot of people. Can you still work under fatigue and then go into double unders? So 20 toes to bar is going to be a big one for a lot of people. Obviously, volume reduced if you don't have the 20 toes to bar for the 3 rounds. Once again, I still want the target time being achieved. So this means that for those who are actively going for the RX side of things, your 100 double unders need to be done in 2 sets. You're not getting away with doing 6, 7 sets on these. You don't have enough time. You'll make the most time. How you keep them all broken? However, it's going to make your toes to bar a little bit shaky, and this is going to apply for everybody. So the big key thing is, as you can see, the workout is built intensity on double unders, and then your toes to bar is being the predicator on how good you move through this. Scale effectively in this, aim for that beautiful in the position, and then try and push those cleans to as much as you can on broken state. So Saturday, sorry about that, is going to be a nice partner one. So the AMRAP on this one is quite a lot of cardio, and this is the point here. We have a little bit of a high skill on this side of things. You can see that what we're doing is we're working a lot of core here. And that idea is working different positions through core work while making sure that we're still maintaining a lot of cardio out here. So we get a change through all of these things. Now, the only thing that I'm not going to stipulate here, or the only thing I will stipulate here to be precise, is that I'm not worried about the run and you failing in the plank. Everything else, keep swapping. And what I mean by that is the partner is planking and can change the planking position. If you break, you swap. If you break during the run, don't worry too much about it. It's more in the echo, the row, the squats, and the push-ups. So this is where I want everybody having a good chat with the partners and going, right, how do we create an effective strategy that's going to allow us to actively outgo? But the big thing of this week is literally focusing on, one, our mid-endurance capabilities, repeatable efforts, hot sprint efforts, repeatable sprint efforts, and explosivity through Tuesday workouts. Otherwise, enjoy.